whether I can like this boy or not. Playing that song, and Quentin and hey, we're back! Yay! This is my little puppy. Welcome to our newest member, Sunshine. So today we are obviously in a new location. We have a special guest. Later on we're going to have another special guest, which I'm really excited about. And also we're going to talk about journal number 4. So let's get into it.
Never enough, too much, never enough, too much, never enough, too much. Too much, never enough, too much, never enough, too much, never enough, too much, never enough, never enough. I don't need my love, you can take it, you can take it.
Here we go. Here's journal number 4. Woo! Let's rate this journal. This journal is, what do you think, Sunshine? Actually, I already know what I want to rate this. This journal is going to have a 4.5. It's not falling apart. It has a spirally edge, so none of the pages are falling out like my Terra journal. But the contents inside, it's all pretty much the same. And also the little girl on the front is kind of weird. I don't know. It's not really my vibe. I wrote in this journal in Wisconsin and Minnesota. So same as my Terra journal, just those 2 states. And then I got this journal from what I can remember, one of my teachers at church. And in the back here, there's a thing with like the different steps of like prayer. And I definitely did not use it as a prayer journal. So the unique thing about this journal is that it has 2 names, because I originally named it after a girl named Heather. And Heather was amazing, probably, and is probably still amazing, but I don't even remember her last name. I don't remember what she looks like. I don't remember where she's from or anything. So somewhere along the line, I renamed it. I renamed it after Dan, and I wrote AKA my Danimal journal. You guys all remember me talking about Dan. I decided, like, I don't really remember Heather, so I decided to rename it after Dan. And I think that's a solid choice. I don't remember if I've done more, but I have at least one other journal that I had named after someone and I renamed it. Here we have the inside cover, and on the other side we have property of Bailey Ann Osborne, aka Smiley, which I don't know why I wrote that, because I had friends who nicknamed me Smiley, but I feel like it wasn't until like 2006, 2007, which this is from 2003. So either I wrote this in years later, or I was called Smiley years before I was called Smiley again. I started it June 4th, and I ended it July 14th. So I started this on June 4th, the same day I ended my last one, and this first entry in here had some really fun information, so I'm going to read it and then I'll talk about it. So June 4th, 2003, and it was hot that day, because remember, I write about the weather now. Hi, smiley face. I'm glad to start you. The last one fell apart on me. I'm sorry to start you a week behind schedule, but I have a new record for finishing my last one in 1 day shy of a month. One of the ladies that I knew, she traveled with us to Morocco. She said in Morocco that she throws away her journals when they are full. What's the point of keeping them if you're just going to throw them away? Oh well, smiley face. I won't throw these ones away. I should name you guys. I'd have to think about it. Okay, I've thought about it. I don't know how long of a pause it was between that sentence and the next one. The first one is Jenny, the next one Becky, the last one is Tara, and you're Heather. Anyway, it's late, so I'll write more tomorrow. The way I sign my journals, it evolves. So right in this journal, and I think the journals kind of before this, I would write my name and then put a heart around the B. So that was kind of my signature. But the cool thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that I started naming my journals now. When I started my journal videos, they already had names. But I didn't start naming them until I got to my Heather journal. And I'm really glad I did. It's really fun to look back and be like, oh, that was a person who was really important to me at that time. Or even just like tell the people that you've named a journal after them, and they're like, oh, what? I have 55 journals, and I'm realizing like the amount of people I haven't named them after, because there are certain people that are only in your life for a season, and then you have all these people who are in your life forever. My 53rd journal was named after Demetrius, my brother. But it's my 53rd journal, and he's been my brother for forever. So sometimes it's really hard to figure out what to name them. I did find an entry where it talked about boys, and I thought you guys might find that interesting. Buckle up.
It's about to get useful.
It's funny because they talk about both the boys that I like in the same entry. So one of the boys, we'll just call him Dave. I liked him off and on. He lived in Wisconsin where we lived. He was a friend of my brother's. And I liked him and they didn't like him. And then in this journal, I started liking him again. In my Tara journal, I talked about the boy that I stopped liking because my friends started liking him.
We call him Dave Jr.
I saw him again and I started liking him. But I write about both of them in the same entry. So it's weird. It's weird. Basically, Bailey just wanted attention. Okay, June 27th, 2003. That day was sunny and cool. And it's a really long entry with a lot of things that really don't matter. But I will start here. This is so funny. This is about Dave Sr. Remember, I have Dave Jr. So Dave Sr. I'd been writing and then I had to go, and so I was writing again for the second time that day. Hey, I'm home now, and I think I'm going to have a heart attack. No, I'm not. I might though, whether I want one or not. I am playing piano. I haven't played for a really long time. And I made up a song called Fireflies, which is the first song I ever wrote. And it's a bop. It slaps.
Fireflies, glittering in the night sky.
And I was playing, and Dave Sr. passed the window and said,
That sounds good.
Yippee! No, Bailey! I won't let you. He's just Dave Sr. That is my whole point. I'm arguing with myself. My journal. Okay, then I said I had to go. Talk more later. Okay, so then later, I came back and I said, Quentin thinks Dave Jr. likes me. And I'm well, okay, I'm starting to like him again. Because remember, I started liking him in 1999. Why do I do this to myself? Now I'm all confused, all messed up. And I'm not going to camp. Because I would have seen him at camp. I feel so different liking Dave Jr. again, especially since I think he likes me. I will finally tell you why I think he likes me. Because when we got home last night, I was playing piano. That was before Dave Sr. passed the window. And Quentin said, I think Dave Jr. likes you. And I said, really? And he said, I'll tell you when I get in. So I run and meet him at the front door because I needed to know ASAP. And I say, why? And he said, because he asked about you twice. And I'm like, really? And he said, yeah. He asked if I was going to camp. And I said, no, I'm busy. And he said, is Bailey going to camp? And Quentin said, yeah, no, she's going to Mexico. And he says, yeah, I'd want to go to Mexico too, which, obviously. Then he said, I wonder if Bailey wants to play. You should go invite her to play with us. Because I'd been sitting on the bleachers watching them. I don't know what they were playing. I'm gonna guess they were probably playing soccer. I can't imagine that it would have been American football. So I'm gonna assume they were playing soccer, which I don't really play soccer, but I enjoyed watching, which is why I was on the bleachers. And then I spent like 5 to 6 lines describing all the different ways I'd been sitting on the bleachers, and I'm embarrassed for myself. Like, it's embarrassing. When Quentin got done telling me this, I said, my friend, Joanne, will be so jealous. So I thought I would just share that with you because I thought it was really fun. And my birthday happened in this journal, July 6th. I didn't say the temperature. That's embarrassing. It's probably hot because it was July. So when I was a teenager, I would record songs off the radio onto a cassette tape so I could listen to them when I wanted to because Spotify did not exist, and even if it did, I didn't have any way to play Spotify. All the songs on my cassette tape. So you can screenshot that if you want some fire tunes. We got some Audio Adrenaline. That was when Ocean Floor was really popular. Key Rains by the Newsboys, which I still have trouble listening to that song because that song was played at least 10,000 times that year, and I'm still tired of it. We have Avalon on here. I loved Avalon so much. Oh, we got that classic Don't Look at Me by Stacey Rico. I have some Mark Schultz. I love Mark Schultz. I need to listen to Mark Schultz more. Why don't I listen to him? Man, his songs were amazing. They got me in my feels every time. Jump 5. Jump 5. Avalon and Jump 5 were probably my favorites. Those were the tunes. 2003. I became the baby whisperer that summer. And I didn't remember. I knew I babysat that summer, and I didn't remember how little I got paid. I got paid $7 to watch Mariah for like 3 hours. That's so cool. And I was like, $7? And I would like babysit for an evening and get $10. Like, such a different time. There were 2 little kids, Mariah and Aaron, and they were from 2 different families, but they both really liked me to babysit them, which, praise God, because I probably wasn't the world's best babysitter back then. I know I'm an awesome babysitter now, but I've learned a lot, and I can't imagine 14-year-old Bailey being super awesome with babysitting. But like, their moms loved me and I loved them, so that's cool. It's the birth of the baby whisperer. And then also I ended this in the car. So I said finish June. Oh, I wrote June 14th. I finished it July 14th, 2003 at 9:20 p.m. in the car. I believe we were running errands, my family was. Well, I guess this is goodbye since there's no more room. And they wrote my name, and then I wrote the names of all the people that I love the most, including Dave Jr. and Dave Sr. And I put little hearts. And then it was done. Hi guys, here we are with my special guest. This is my really good friend. Her name is Susie, and she loves people. She loves personalities. She's going to school for
counseling
psychology. So we're going to talk about 14-year-old Bailey and some of the issues she had. Because now as a 31-year-old woman, I can look back and see, wow, Bailey, there are some things that needed to be worked out. And one of the first things that we're going to talk about is the fact that I was a literal sponge. So I was spongy beyond my years, and I was reading my next journal that we'll get to in the 5th video, and it only got worse. So there's that to look forward to. It obviously came from somewhere. It's not like I woke up one day and was like, I should be annoying and clingy to everyone that I meet. So what we were talking about before we started filming, one of the reasons why I was so spongy, because I wasn't getting my sense of identity from a place of who I was, but from what other people said and how I interpreted what they said too.
Right.
So we're not meant to base our identity on what other people say, or we will be lacking all the time.
Yeah, exhausted from
Yeah.
chasing that.
Yeah.
Well, I am also a sponge. Hello, my name is Susie. I was a sponge.
This is Sponges Anonymous.
I
Welcome to our
think-
club.
Yeah, I think a lot of teenage girls maybe boys, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been a teenage boy. I
Me
have
either.
been a teenage girl. I think many teenage girls are sponges just because
Yeah.
it's such an unstable time in your life
Yeah,
where you're
that's
like,
true.
who am I?
Mhm.
What defines me? Because we are
Yeah.
supposed to get a piece of our identity from our relationships.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So part of that is healthy and normal, but if it's, I've experienced getting it too much from people through
Yeah.
like guys who want to like talk and flirt and you
Yeah.
don't really like them, but it's like
Right.
you kind of collect these things that hold up your personality like crutches,
Mhm.
like talking to boys who
And
like
then you don't want to let those crutches go because
Right.
otherwise then you're like, who am I?
sometimes they have to be like ripped away so you can learn how to stand by yourself, which definitely happened to me.
Yeah.
So I can definitely relate to the sponginess
Yeah.
and to the having to learn how to cope without
Mhm.
sucking the life out of people. I think it's exhausting, at least for me it was.
That's true because you're never actually satisfied with yourself. You're always searching for something to remind you who you are.
Yeah,
Feel like you're nothing
totally.
in the midst of people loving you.
Right, because I think you said this before, like, it's not even what people think about you, it's
Mhm.
what you think people think about
That's
you.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you're so insecure, because it is insecurity to depend on what people think,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going to kind of distort even
Mhm.
their good intention.
I needed to be cool and acceptable to the older people in my life. So I wanted my older brother to hang out with me, but I really wanted to hang out with like the young adults, like Dan, Brendan, Becky, Tara, Bethany. Like those were the people that I was like, feed me all of my self-worth because I need to know that I'm okay.
Right.
And so I just thought it was very interesting that I would have a very specific pool that I was
Right.
sucking my identity from.
Right. It sounds like you had, which we all do, unwanted identities. Like,
Yeah.
I do not want to be this.
Yeah,
Like, I do
Yeah,
not
for
want to be
sure.
obnoxious. I do not want to be immature.
yeah,
And so the ways we go about that are, like, picking people
Yeah.
that we decide are
Yeah.
the appropriate judges of that.
yeah,
And then if you don't reach that level, you'll shame spiral. And when you shame spiral, you'll put up these screens.
yeah,
Which are either you move against people, like fighting people, you move toward people, like flattering, or you move away from people and withdraw.
yeah.
Which I do all of them,
Yeah.
depending on the situation and who it is.
That's
like,
true. Whatever I can do to get attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was realizing how self-absorbed I was.
Mm,
I was reading my journals and I was like, everything I did was for my own good. Like, I didn't probably ask my sister how she was doing at all during those times. Like, I probably never asked her, hey, how are you doing right now? Or like, are you enjoying life? Or like, have a conversation. I didn't ever probably think about doing that. I was so absorbed in feeding myself
Yeah.
that I can't imagine that I ever thought about anything. And if I did do an act of service, I'll give myself the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps I really did care.
Yeah.
But there were things that I know I did just so I could get back.
Yeah.
So like the story with my brother and the canoe, and I said he could go canoeing with our friends even though I still wanted to, but I allowed him to go because I wanted him to know me as the nice, obliging sister so that he would like me. Yeah, I was very self-absorbed. I still can be. Fun fact about Bailey. Self-absorbed from time to time.
From what I understand about like stages of maturity, some of that is actually healthy. When you're a child, you're supposed to learn how to take care of yourself. And so
Interesting.
it actually is unhealthy if a child is trying to take care of their family or take care of their parent or other people, and it leads to like
I did
premature
something right.
adultification.
On accident. Thankfully, my time in Wisconsin was a very safe time. I was surrounded by a lot of safe people. And that's, I mean, I was a sponge, but I was a sponge in a safe place, which, praise God. Because I was surrounded by people who cared about me for real, who were good influences and genuinely wanted me to know that I was loved and accepted. And regardless of my self-absorption, I was able to like grow there. Okay, I would like to say something that I noticed from editing, especially my last journal read. I do not talk about myself very nicely. And it was interesting because I realized even now, still today, I don't allow myself to be immature. Because 14-year-old Bailey was immature. The way she expressed herself was immature. But I just, still, like, just reading my journal still, like, yeah, of course, it's gonna make me cringe. It's allowed. But to be able to look back and say, 14-year-old Bailey is okay.
Yeah, she tried her hardest.
Yeah. And so I was like, I need to work on how I talk about myself. I express my savageness. I need to take a step back and love 14-year-old Bailey.
Yeah.
14-year-old Bailey was a great kid.
Good job, 14-year-old Bailey. You made it.
Yes, you made it.
Some
Look at
people
you
don't
now.
make it, and you did.
Here's a little self-positive message for 14-year-old Bailey.
Yeah.
You rock. You're a sponge, but you're a worthy sponge, and you're
Yeah.
worth being poured into.
You deserve love.
Now, everybody's watching this video. Go say something nice about yourself now, and something nice about yourself when you were little. Bye!
I would dance here